So, welcome everybody. This is our third or second webinar.
A third.
It's third webinar, yeah. Um, I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to be our facilitator for tonight. And that being said, I'm going to introduce our schedule for tonight. First, I want to remind you that this is going to be recorded. So if anyone doesn't feel okay with that, feel free to drop. Actually, we're already recording. What else? Yeah. So first, we're going to have some news when it comes to our group and our webinars. Shanghai Life Coaching Collective have been working hard recently, and we have decided to come up with some changes. We're going to have our monthly webinars. We're going to have our monthly meetups, and we started some actions which we're gonna present soon. In the beginning, we're gonna have introduction about our collective and who we are, what we are here for, and what is our purpose. After which, we're gonna hear about our directory, which is gonna be presented by our colleague and coach Sherie. After that, main scene is reserved for Adrian Cahill, life coach who's been working all around the globe, but very often comes and visits us here in Shanghai. After Adrian's speech and some Q&A, we're gonna have member spotlight where we're gonna introduce one of our coaches for tonight. That's gonna be Sherie Li. And I'm looking forward to that. Yeah, and that's basically it. So, Colin, I'm gonna give my word to you, and good luck, everyone.
All right. So first of all, thank you, Sasha, for first of all stepping up to be the facilitator for this evening. I think I reached out to you maybe about a week and a half ago, almost 2 weeks ago, and asked who would like to step up and have a larger role in the webinars. And almost instantly, you said you want to actively be involved. So, so thank you here. Once again, we do have the agenda that you guys are seeing. I want to say one more thing before we go forward. And Sasha, I apologize to you because I'm going to embarrass you a little bit, right? Guys, this is Sasha's first time being a facilitator, right? I told her I wouldn't say that, but Sasha, I lied, right? And the reason I want to bring that up is because when we talk about the Shanghai Life Coaching Collective, this group was put together to really help coaches learn. And as we all know from experience, one of the best ways for us to learn is to do things for the first time. A lot of coaches have a background in training, have a background in facilitating, and we know that being able to facilitate and control a room full of people, and when you're coaching, being able to, I don't want to say control your client, but guide your client correctly, it always comes from the same place of facilitation. So Sasha, who is a newer coach, right? Just started a program and now learning how to facilitate. I think this is a big deal to me. I think it's a big deal. So Sasha, thank you. And tonight, this environment where you have people who are learning also, this is where you want to go for it, right? Try some things, feel very relaxed, and good luck facilitating this evening. No problem. And you guys are gonna know Sasha has a great smile. You look at Sasha, you want to start laughing out loud yourself. So thank you. And I think Sasha's stepping up to really support. This goes back to one of the basics of the Shanghai Life Coaching Collective. This group was started in May of this year. Probably May is about 5-6 months ago, and it was really started due to the fact that a few of us looked throughout Shanghai, throughout Beijing, at different resources for life coaches. We know that we have several meetup groups. We know that we have several WeChat groups. A lot of those groups are very, very useful for sharing information, for learning about events, for trying to find ways to connect with potential clients. What we didn't see, though, was a group that really was hands-on in helping coaches learn, 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 learn from each other and teach. So we decided to put together a small collective, initially in Shanghai, but I had some coach colleagues in Beijing who really wanted to be part of this. So we extended that outside of Shanghai, also to Beijing. The only requirement, and we do have requirements, only requirements were we want to actively teach, support, and learn from each other. And what that means is every member of the collective has I'm going to say, a soft responsibility to teach what they know. Even if you're a young coach, you have a view of you have a view of what you can say a different generation, how they will accept coaching. You can share that to some of us older folks. We want people to be able to teach, learn, and support each other. By teaching, again, getting what you have out to others, learning, like this webinar tonight, coming into an environment where you're able to learn from somebody who has a little more experience, ask questions, and take good notes, and really use that information immediately. And then we say support. What we're doing tonight, we're supporting Sasha as he facilitates, right? You guys are supporting us and Adrian as he teaches. So it's really about teaching, supporting, and learning. So if we look at our member coaches are aspiring, new, or experienced life coaches who are eager, once again, to support other life coaches, who are eager to learn from other life coaches. And I like this last one, are actively promoting life coaching, right? We want to make sure that, one, we're being good stewards of life coaching. We're being good examples of what life coaches do. As we help clients, that helps to spread the word. As you know, life coaching is still not well known. It's getting more popular, but it's still not well known. So we're all ambassadors of life coaching. So these three things, again, supporting, learning, and promoting life coaching. Now, two of the areas that we focus in is the business side and the coaching side. A lot of coaches have more access to how to coach, right? What are some of the classic or what are some of the standard methods of coaching clients? What we don't tend to focus on a lot is the business side. How do you build a business that consistently obtains clients, right? It's like I say it's like this, right? The more clients you get, the better you get at coaching, right? But if you're not able to get clients, it might impact your ability to serve people. So we want to make sure that we're giving focus on both of these areas. And tonight we're focused on the business side. As Sasha said, we have Adrian who's going to speak to us about one of the first fears, right? One of the first fears that a lot of us have when we first when we first graduate our coursework and start looking for paid clients. And that's how do we charge, right? What's the best way to charge? So Adrian's going to take us through what he did in that time. So once again, this is the Shanghai Life Coaching Collective. We're always looking for new coaches to join up. Again, if you join up, you will be asked to teach something. You will be asked to take on a role. So we hope to see you join the collective, and the coaches who are already here, we look forward to seeing you guys get involved a little more. Great. So Isabel, can you go on mute, please?
Yeah, I just did it. Sorry, I'm not so familiar with Zoom.
Okay.
Hello, everyone.
Take your time.
Hello.
Hello, Isabel.
Let me try to get you there on mute. One moment here. Okay, it seems to have taken care of it. Okay, Sasha, let me turn this back over to you.
Okay.
Yeah. So Isabel, can you go on mute, please?
Sorry?
Can you go on mute?
Oh, sure.
Thank you. Okay, great. So Sasha, back on you.
Thank you, Colin. You just reminded us about our goals and mission, and I'm personally really glad that this group is formed with the pure intention to help and support, and I hope it's going to stay like that in the future. Before we go to Adrian, I would like to call Sherie, who's going to introduce a new thing in our collective, which is coaching directory. And that being said, Sherie, the word is yours.
Okay, thank you. Can you move to the next page?
Of course.
Okay, thank you.
Colin, I think you have the command.
Okay, and Sherie, I just gave you control there.
Okay. So how to move to
Okay.
And you're on mute. Oh, okay.
okay. Yes. So Idat and also Isabella, you can see your picture and also information here. So thanks a lot for calling for the idea to put together the member directory and also the information of each individual coach. So this give everyone, you know, the like a presence and also information. So to be visible to other potential clients and also the format, how to do it. So let me just give, because so far I collect several coaches' information, but still, yeah, some coach information is still missing. So if you would love the format to be put on the member directory, so you can still maybe in 2 weeks or 1 month's time, still send me the information by email. So let's maybe just look at the first out your profile. So calling, is it possible to make it large, bigger?
Yeah, and Sherie, I do have the actual web page working. I can bring that up if you like.
Okay, yeah, that would be perfect.
Okay. Let me do that.
Okay.
Whoops. Okay, and guys, we had, you know, as you know, since the China anniversary, we've had some issues with getting access to certain web pages. So it's been a challenge, but we have it working correctly here. So let me share my screen again. 1 moment here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, that's perfect. Okay, so we have on this member directory the name, the full name. So here the example, Ida Wang, and also what kind of coach. So maybe you're, so for example, here is the creativity and the leadership coach, and ontological coach. It's a very special, I guess, specialty in some way. The special coach. Ida maybe later on can give us the webinar to on that topic, and also the specialties: creativity, leadership, change and life transition, adolescent development. So this is the specialty. Yeah. The next one is the personal kind of quote. Yeah. For adult here, everyone is a creative genius. You just have to give your genius permission to shine. And also the location. So adult is currently located in Shanghai, but she doesn't limit her clients just in Shanghai. So it could be global, via internet, LinkedIn, the virtual connection. And the language Adult can use to coach English, Mandarin Chinese, Cantonese, and also French. And if here, so on this side, the contact information for Adult, the cell phone number, email address, and also in China mostly, the WeChat. Yeah. If someone, a potential client or someone interested to know Adult more in details, so Colin, can you click this, view my profile? Yes. So this way we see more details about who Adult is. The more details, certification, qualification, her background, and career, and how all these other detailed information. And also, can we move back to the main page, please? Yes. So far we have several coaches, as I said, already listed here. And let's go to Collins. He has a specific, very special function here. if we want to all share this function, here, schedule session. So for example, if a potential client sees all your information and interested in talking to you, so this Calendly, as proposed by Colin, suggested by him, is a very good application to our website. So we can register, so he can build us the function onto this member directory. So people, when they see want to talk to you, can just click that function there to schedule appointment with you. So basically, this is all the nice functions there.
Great.
Yes. Okay, so for more details, if you have any other questions, feel free to ask me or Colin, or send the information through my email or the WeChat. Just give me a alert. I will talk to you the details. I think that's all.
Great. Can I add one thing here, if you don't mind sharing?
Yes, sure.
So guys, what you're seeing here is the first iteration. We just started working on this again about 10 days ago. Just like with Sasha, I put the request out there in the group who wants to really get on board, and Sherie did two things, right? She put her hand up, and then she grilled me really tough about the purpose of this, right? How useful it would be. I mean, tough, right? So let me say that right now, I think it's better to have this information, because what it does, it allows coaches to start seeing what other opportunities coaches are using to be listed online, and then for them to start making sure they can follow that. What I mean here is, if you notice, IDOT, she has a LinkedIn profile. I believe this is Instagram, and this is Twitter, right?
Twitter.
More ways to connect with clients. And I know we may say here in China we don't have access to these things, but there are always ways, right? Also, making sure that when you have potential clients, if you meet a client, say in a cocktail party or networking, it's so powerful, right? When they go do a Google on your name or a Bing search, it's so powerful to have something online where you have content and information. So we wanted to also add the view my profile page, which gives more information. Now, how we use this page, quite frankly, I'm not sure yet, but I felt any legitimate collective, we need to have a listing of our group members, right? So this is the start. And again, I've already had people asking me, for example, how do I create a Facebook page? How do I create my LinkedIn profile? We want to make sure that you guys have everything you need to have an online presence. Of course, it doesn't end here, right? What you see here is just one small piece. The biggest piece, of course, is connecting with people and then giving them a reason to come try to find you. But having a directory of our group, I think, is powerful, because at some point as we grow, as people talk more about what is your group, who are your members, I don't want to just throw names out there. I want to be able to give them a website to go to where they can find member information. Now, on that note, we also have on the webpage a link to our collective information and our webinars. All our past webinars you can find at that link, and tonight's webinar will also be there as well. Okay, great. Before we commence, any questions for Sherie or myself on the member directory? Going once, going twice. All right, great.
I think it's explained very clearly.
Yeah. Okay, great. So now I'm going to return back to the presentation, and I'll give it back to Sasha. 1 second here. And Sasha, you now have control.
Okay. Thank you, Colin. Can you guys hear me? It seems that my connection is a bit unstable.
I can hear you fine.
Okay, great. Thank you, Sherie, for sharing with us this information. Actually, I must admit that I was kind of skeptical when it comes to this directory. I was not sure how it's going to look like, but from what I could see right now, it looks very interesting, and it seems that it can be really useful, especially for beginner coaches as myself. Okay, so now we're gonna move to the main event of We're gonna hear Adrian Cahill, a life coach from Australia. I've heard some people describing him as one of the best expat coaches in China, and it was before I actually met him, and I was puzzled, honestly, because I was new to life coaching in Shanghai, especially. But after meeting him in person, I can say that I was quite impressed. So I'm looking forward to his talk on methods for pricing your coaching packages. And without further ado, Adrian, if you have a word.
Okay, thank you very much, Sasha, and thank you very much, Colin, for kickstarting the Shanghai Life Coaching Collective back in May. I'm very glad you did. Thank you very much. Colin mentioned something very valuable at the start, and myself and a lot of, I guess, more experienced coaches tend to agree with this, but you can take it or leave it. Business skills and coaching skills often different. Some people can be great with business, some people can be great with coaching. However, as freelance coaches, people that can take on random clients around the world, I think we need to be good at both. Now, I like talking about money. In fact, I love talking about money. And Sherie, she's heard me talk about money before, haven't you? And Ardon and Sasha, it was great to meet you guys up in Shanghai as well. So firstly, can everyone understand my Australian English? Right, I'll talk a bit fast, but do put your hand up if you want me to repeat something. So if I talk too fast, just put your hand up and I'll loop back around. So today we're going to talk about pricing our packages. I was going to share how I came up with the packages I offer now, a bit of my journey with the pricing packages, and then have a bit of a Q&A on a couple of important questions. And before we get into that, I'd like to pre-frame it, and I'd like to pre-frame you as coaches. We're open-minded, but I'd like you to be even more open-minded, even more open-minded. So take this on board with a really open mind, take what you need and leave what doesn't serve you. When it comes to pricing, for me, it's largely about relaxing, being very relaxed, being very calm, being able to talk about money, being able to talk about the price. So as I mentioned before, I like talking about money and I like making money. And I like being able to charge clients a fee, and I love being able to receive a fee. In fact, I pretty much have a training allowance or a budget. Whatever I spend on coaching, I can spend on training. And sometimes I'll be with a group of people and I might say I love money or I love making money. And some people will get really offended by it. Recently, I was training in Portugal. I had a group of 10 people. And I said in there something along the lines of, I help rich people make more money. I help entrepreneurs make more money. I guess I help people make money and enjoy themselves. One lady in the group got offended, and I could see it on her face. She seemed to step back, and she gave me dirty looks, and she said, you know, how can you be so focused on making money? And I let her know that I give a large chunk of money away every year. And the sooner I can make more, the more I can give away. As I earn more, the more security my family has. If I can make a few $1 million, I can make a lot of positive change for the world. But if I can't feed myself and my family, I may have to go to a job, or I may have to focus on working. So it's really important as coaches that we can make money so we can follow our passion. And if we have enough, we can also coach and serve from a place of abundance rather than a place of scarcity. There's a lot of coaches coming from scarcity, and there's a lot of coaches that are on the borderline trying to make their ends meet. And a lot of you guys might believe that if you're trying to make ends meet, and if in the back of your mind you have scarcity, you may believe that this can affect you moving forward in coming up with a pricing strategy or charging your clients. Some people won't believe that, and if people don't believe that and they're in the scarcity, great, excellent. But there's a fair chance that a lot of us, deep down, we may feel a need or an attachment to the money, and that can make it harder to close the deal, to price it, to charge it. So moving forward, I think one of the key things for me is to really relax and be able to have that money conversation. I had that money conversation earlier on today. 11:30 today, I closed a deal on another client. I spoke with him last week. I met him 2 weeks ago up in Shanghai. We spoke about his business. We spoke about his goals. We had a session a week ago. Session went for about 90 minutes. It didn't feel like the right time to come up with the money conversation. So I said to him, hey, I want to give you a bit of a task. And I gave him a task. And I said, if you complete this task, we can get back together next week and we can look at what it would look like to work together. Perhaps I could have closed, or cemented the deal last week, but it didn't feel right to me. I wasn't relaxed. So I said, okay, we'll talk next week. And then this week we've had our session. He's done his task. We've gone into a bit of a session, and I've identified the value, made sure. So you really want to go ahead with this and move towards this bigger goal that you've created. And we're both there agreeing. I said, okay, well, now let's get into the money conversation. Is it cool if we talk about money? He's like, yeah, I've been wanting to know. So we approach the money conversation like adults. I could tell him, I prefer upfront payment. I want X dollars upfront, so I know you're committed. I want X dollars upfront, so I know you're committed. And we're talking about taking your company public. I want a percentage of the return of that. That's my commitment to you. The commitment you're giving to me, this X dollars, it's small. It's pretty insignificant for me. Don't really need it. But I know that you're going to be committed with that. And I also told him a couple of conditions. I told him if he didn't do X, if he didn't do Y, I would drop him and keep his money. With a smile on my face. You've been saying you've been wanting to meditate more often. If you don't meditate at least 3 times a week, I'm canceling the contract, taking your money and walking away. He liked it. So we had a mature conversation about money, cemented the deal, gave bank transfer details, came across. There was no negotiation kind of required. But there was a little bit of a negotiation. There was, okay, if you do an upfront fee, there's a discount. Or we can just do a monthly retainer. We actually came to the conclusion that we're going to do a monthly retainer, and 3 months' time or 4 months' time, you should be going a package, a bigger amount. And it was nice to be able to have that relaxed conversation. So Sasha, could you flip over to the side?
Yes.
Okay. Any questions so far?
Yeah, Adrian, you have control.
Okay. Oh, great. Now, guys, often when I share this with people, when I share the rate, a lot of people go straight into their head. And remember, we're working in a judgment-free space. So these hashes, the numbers don't matter. The actual numbers here are completely irrelevant. But I can tell you, When I first started, it was like 3,600 RMB for 6 sessions. That's what I started at. I started at a low rate, and I call it low, but for some people it might be high. But that's how I started. I started very low, very cheap. And I just had a reaction then. It's kind of funny. I was charging my services so cheaply. And then over a period of time, I increased the rate. And that's what I was doing. Packets, 6 sessions, X dollars. I would give them a time frame. That's just what I learned and started with. Some people might do that and some people might expand. Remember, there's no right or wrong. Moving forward from that, I started to do a 3-month period, a 6-month period, and later on a 12-month period. I generally do a 6-month period, and most of my clients do multiple periods, maybe 3 periods of 6 months, being 1.5 years in total. I really like this time period method. I work out with my client that we're basically looking at 3 months together, 6 months together, or a substantial period of time to really change something. I believe, in my opinion, when I was selling 6 sessions, it wasn't that good, and you can't get great change out of 6 sessions. So I'd rather work with someone for 6 months.
Hey, Adrian, can we just throw questions out, or do you want to wait till the end?
Yeah, throw questions out as we go.
Okay, very interesting. Because one thing I faced when talking to some potential clients is their desire to reach their goal in, I don't want to say as short a time as possible, but definitely within a few months. So sometimes saying, we have a 6-month or even 12-month program, they may say, EGATs. No. I need to have this resolved or reach this goal sooner. I know as a coach you want to go into why they need to do that, but that's irrelevant right now. Also, on the other side, are you coaching them through multiple goals in that time, or just typically one goal per contract, or how are you doing that?
Great question, Colin. And generally, I like to have a good discussion with them before bringing this up. So I've talked with them for an hour, an hour and a half. Very rarely is it 30 minutes. Some people do 30 minutes. It's not my style. It's not congruent with me. I don't feel comfortable or relaxed doing a 30-minute push session. So it ends up being roughly about an hour, a lot of listening to them. And then from listening to them, I can determine if there's 1 goal, 3 goals, 5 goals, whatever. If it's like 5 goals for me, that's more of a life turnaround or a transformation. And to really get that transformation, and from my experience, I know that's at least 6 months.
Okay.
Making the changes and making sure they stick. I just had a message before. I just had a message like, I better not open that up. I just had a message before. It's some lady and a partner. So I'll listen to them, and if it seems like it could be just a matter of a few sessions, then I'd be going for the 3-month session, the 3-month block. And what we can do is we can try 3 months, and then we can go longer if required. But the thing is, I think a great idea is that we meet up about this time once a week to ensure you're tracking, to ensure you're doing what you say you're going to do, and to ensure you keep moving forward.
Mm-hmm.
So those time periods allow weekly sessions, but you could also do every 10 days, like a Tony Robbins company. And I know some coaches that go every 2nd week. I generally go every week. So they can work out in their head 3 months, 12 sessions, X dollars, and they might go, wow, that's expensive. They might go, oh, that's cheap.
Right.
I'm like relaxed.
So you're not saying here are my 3, 6, 12 month plans. Pick one. You're saying based on our conversation, this is what I think will best help you.
Yes. Now there's still a choice. Up front with a discount or a monthly rate. So they still get a choice. And 2 or 3 choices are great. Sherie?
Yes, Adrian, I have a question. what if your client after 3 months, okay, they've been busy, they say, okay, I purchased a 3 months package, but how about like in the gym, I want to extend 1 more month.
Well, that's great. I'm glad you said that. You know, maybe we should just do another month or 2 months.
Okay, so is it this 2 months, you know, charge additionally or just, okay, charge additionally?
Do you want to do it for free? Now, if you do it for free as well, it won't really serve them.
Yeah,
So,
no,
yeah, it'll often be.
no, like 3 months before, like, you know, it's like a bi-week frequency, right? But they say, okay, I'm traveling or whatever, they cannot commit. So they want to extend the time, say like to, yeah, 1 month at a time or sometime longer. So it's a 3 months contract, right? Based on bi-weekly frequency. But then it's like a traveling or whatever, they want to extend. Do you normally do this extension about month time?
No, I'll do 3 months or 6 months. Really, I very rarely do that. I really do the 3 months now.
Okay.
When I first started, I did a lot more 3 months. Now it's mainly 6 months. And around the end of that time, we're talking, things are going great. And a lot of the times it's unsaid, or it's said in the sessions that they do plan to keep going.
Mm-hmm.
And often I might give them an extra couple of weeks there.
Okay, I see.
Or I might say, hey, you've been so great, and thank you for that reference on LinkedIn, or thank you for referring that friend. How about we do another 6 months, and I'll add an extra month on to the end of it as an appreciation.
Okay, I see. Okay, that helps. Thank you.
Yeah, that brings up a good question because Sherie, I think you also alluding to you have a 3-month contract, but the person is absent and wants to increase the time but not pay any,
Yes.
right? Yeah, yeah.
Oh, they want to increase time without paying.
Yeah, it's the, you know, the
Right.
kind of say, you know, traveling or, you know, company has other meeting schedule conflict. So can we extend? When you extend, it's more than 3 months, you know?
If they're extending, they're paying in my books.
Okay.
And if they don't turn up, that's their loss.
Ah, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, it's totally their loss, and this takes pressure off you. So this is one of the really good things about it. When you have 6 sessions or 10 sessions, the client, in the back of their head, they're counting the sessions, and they might not want to see you because they want to keep their sessions.
Right.
Yes, that's
They're
true.
in the scarcity. They want to keep their sessions for when they really need them.
Yes.
And you're sitting there like, come on, let's meet. And they're like, oh no, I want to save my sessions. And it's an incentive for them not to show up.
Okay.
It's an incentive for them not to show up. Whereas if it's a monthly one and time is passing, look, the sessions are there. Come along.
Right.
And I also throw in, you know, you can reschedule with 24 hours prior notice. It's just a matter of what you're actually buying here is I'm blocking off, and I'll be blocking off a whole 2-hour window for you.
Right.
You know, we might just use an hour of it, or an hour and a half, 45 minutes, but I'm going to block this time off for you. No one else can book it for the next 6 months.
Okay, I see.
Even my wife can't book it. So I'm booking this time for you. And I do have some clients. Example, one of the big investment bankers, you know, continually struggling to make that. And now it's actually 6 months is up, and he's used less than half of his sessions.
Yeah.
You know what I think? I probably should have charged him twice the price. Now, one important question that we have coming up is this question on morals. Can you charge people different amounts? I mentioned this to Sasha last night. Can you?
That's a yes.
Well, it's up to you. If it's a yes for you, it's a yes for you. And it's a yes for me. But for some people, it might be a no. And that's totally okay. For me, I believe I can. And because I believe I can, I can. And I've actually given a discount to a fair few people from perhaps from India. Nothing wrong. There are people in India as well. But if I have a client from a poorer country, I have a lovely person from Kenya. I know there's no way on earth she would afford my rates. I dropped it in half for her. And it's so fun. It's so fun. I get energized. It's just hilarious fun. We have a great time coaching, and she gets half the rate. I'm happy with that.
How about charge the friends? This is very interesting.
Yeah, I remember being told, don't coach your friends and family.
Yes.
Okay. So a coach I've been working with has told me, he's like, look around, look at all the coaches on Facebook. There are tons of coaches on social media that are faking it. Now, if you're the real deal, and if you really care about them, would you prefer your friends be ripped off or served well? Now, if it comes down to that, I would definitely be coaching them. So in the past, I haven't. Now I coach some of my friends. One of my really good friends came to me a couple of months ago, and he asked about the coaching, and I told him straight up, mate, I love to coach you. In fact, for years, I've been really wanting to and loving to. But the thing is, I need you to do something. And I pre-framed to him my conditions, that he takes the coaching seriously, that he turns up on time, that he pays. And the thing is, he's absolutely getting huge results. Huge results. Yeah. So if you think about your friends as well, perhaps people you worked with years ago, you've probably got some amazing people you can serve behind you. Now, one of the best activities I did, it was organized through one of the coaching schools, was that you made a list of 50 people you could coach. And I want you to think about your old friends, people you care about but have lost contact with, people you've met in places, but make a list. And I made a list of 50 people that I could coach, and I contacted all of them. This is when I started. And there's a fair few of my really good friends gave me their partners, gave me their friends. So when I started, boom, 50 people. And then the 50 people, maybe 15 of them said yes, and I started coaching them and some of their friends. So yeah, I believe in my world that you can charge friends, and you can. I haven't coached family, but you can definitely coach friends. There's another saying that you shouldn't do business with your best friends. And those in my workshops are here. My thing is, if you don't do business with your best friends, who are you going to do business with? Your enemies?
That's a good point. So Adrian,
Yeah, so you can consider coaching friends.
yeah, I have plenty of questions here, and I'll be quiet with other folks ask. But how did you mentioned you first started around 3,600 RMB. How did you first price those packages? What was your thought process?
Oh, Colin, I wish I could tell you.
Because a lot of people, you mentioned, a lot of people start cheap, right? Not start cheap, but start inexpensive because they feel that based on their experience, they don't feel right charging more until they sort of proven themselves, right?
Yeah, Sasha.
No, just wanted to confirm this. It's my case.
Yeah. Yeah, so Sasha, I shared with Sasha some prices last night, and Sasha went and had some kind of reaction. And that's what I was like, no, Sasha, you can price your coaching however you want. But the thing is, I think you want to be congruent with it. And I wrote a couple of tips down for that. So for me, as I mentioned, you got to be relaxed, right? And be prepared. So before you have your introductory session or before you have your coaching engagement, I think you want to get in your mind and actually write down on paper, I want to do 6 months for 6,000, whatever currency. RMB, US dollars, Swiss franc, gold coins, whatever you want. But actually write it down. And then when you go into your session, you should have that price written down. So if you're having a virtual session, have it written on your computer, the price, have it written down somewhere. And then as you go through the session and when you come up to the pricing engagement, you have it written down. You have it you can fall back on. Now, if you're very comfortable with it, it'll come across more congruently. But remember, there's no right or wrong. So someone else might say it should be a stretch. And maybe it should be a stretch. Maybe I haven't stretched enough. My coach is telling me to double my rate. Sorry. So some people will tell you to stretch it, but one of the main pricing things for me is, and a lot of coaches won't like this, I tend to charge half of what I pay my coach. So what are you paying your coach? And then halve it. Or what are you paying your coach? And then maybe come down 25%. Okay, now one of the biggest things for me is what I see in Shanghai is that most coaches aren't being coached. I've given talks with big coaching circles in some different cities, and it is really amazing to me that the amount of people in there are not being coached. So if you're a coach and you don't have one, what does that say about it? So generally we come forwards as coach and we tell our clients coaching is amazing. Coaching can transform your lives. You can use coaching to transform your relationships to make a lot of money. And in the back of your head, you don't have a coach. Or the client asks you, who's your coach? And you're like, and for a lot of people, they come up with some name or someone they're in a triad with, or a free coach they've been given as part of a group. So if you as a coach have a free coach, a very, very cheap coach, or no coach at all, and then you're out there selling it and pricing it, it's going to be hurting. It's going to be hurting. So that's one of the main reasons I think coaches are broke. And so probably 80% of coaches are broke and they're going back to their jobs. So paying money for coaching training is great, and that's a great start. But a lot of the coaching schools, a lot of those coaches don't have a lot of success. I was offered a job in a couple of coaching schools, and some of the rates I was offered as a teacher was like a fraction of the rate that I make as a coach. As an example, one school was offering me like $100 US to do a webinar with like 50 students. And after negotiations, they went up to $150 to lead a webinar of all their students. It's like, God, what kind of coaching school is this? And that was a life coaching school. So be aware that a lot of the coaches that are delivering these trainings, some of them are paid, some of them are well paid, some of them aren't. All right, so there's one thing I want to share though. In there, discounts. Do you give discounts? Do you guys give discounts? Do you get asked for discounts?
I coach for free.
Yes. I give student discounts.
Okay. Great. And what do you do when someone asks you for a discount? Do you want to discount a result?
No.
Remember that. Do you want to discount a result? You know, what do you want to cut out of this program? You want to reduce the cost? Okay, well, what do you want to cut out? Do you want to change it from weekly to 2 weekly? Sasha, do you like that?
Yeah. No, I don't want to discount my result. I wanted to ask you about the example that you gave in the beginning. So that was half time duration coaching, half result-based coaching, right? It was both at the same time.
Yes. I haven't fully got into results-based coaching. That's where I want to go in future. Like this gentleman today, we're doing a retainer and also taking up percentage of the future company. Now, sometimes you might get a client who wants you to, say, a relationship breakthrough, or perhaps lose 20 kilograms. You may want to set a results base. So, but it gets rather complicated and challenging. That's why I'm such a big fan of the 6-month rates. Now, there's a couple of things you might want to consider doing. Is you really want to get comfortable with the amount. So setting your price, if you are setting a price XXX and you feel it and you say it and it's uncomfortable, what's going to happen when you get to the coaching conversation with the client? If you are not able to say it confidently in a relaxed way, they're going to pick it up. So can you bluff it, or do you need to get comfortable with a higher amount, or do you need to bring your amount down? There's a great meditation any coach can do. You can do a meditation and you can imagine your figure up here, say $1 million. You can meditate with $1 million and you can meditate and bring it in, soak it up, and you can be $1 million. You can do the fake it till you make it. And you can do a fake it till you make it. It has its place. Fake it till you make it in your meditation. Fake it till you make it in your morning routine. Don't fake it in your marketing, which is a very common thing in Shanghai. I see so many 22-year-old CEOs or a 28-year-old senior partner of a company, and they're not even listed on their webpage. So you can fake it till you make it with your psychology, and you can do various coaching, meditation techniques to get really comfortable with a lot of money. But in your marketing, you got to keep it real. So fake it till you make it, but not in your marketing. With your packaging, say your price to a few people. If 4 people are saying no to your price, maybe it's too high. The online course thing, I'm a big fan of online courses now. So I don't recommend spending too much time making an online course, but I would highly recommend some online products. Online products that you don't necessarily sell, but you can actually give away. You know, a 1-hour talk about relationships. 1-hour talk about meditating, a 5-part series about transforming your life. And then when you're actually meeting your clients, say you're meeting in a cafe or something in Shanghai, or you're actually meeting, you can have a little package. And you could have your life coaching package, and maybe in there you have a book and different products. You can have your MP3s, or you can print them out into actual CDs. You can fill this with valuable stuff. And then when you're talking to your client, you've got this. Your service has now become a product. So build up your collection of interviews, of products that you can give away, maybe make your CDs, make USBs, and actually give a product with your service. Okay, that's about time. So I'd like to hand it over to Colin, or any questions.
Yeah, Adrian, of course, I have another question. I'll make this my final question. One thing, if you recall, when we talked earlier about our directory, right, we had global coaching. Now, I know you coach all through Asia. This isn't directly tied to how you price your packages, but it's directly tied to how you get the revenue, the fee, right? You mentioned clients in India, clients in Australia, clients in Shanghai. How are you actually getting those fees to you? For example, what applications are you using, right? I know some coaches have credit cards, able to use credit cards. We're not there yet. I'm not there yet, right? So right now for US business, I have PayPal, I have, WeChat, here. How do you manage that on a global, or at least an Asian, Australia level?
Yeah. It grows. It's not such a big concern for me. As you mentioned, I use PayPal, WeChat, Alipay. If it's someone, I was just on Western Union an hour ago. An hour ago now I was on Western Union. I was collecting money from some clients in China, and I was actually doing a Western Union across to one of my coaches in the Middle East that's doing mindfulness work. I've had some clients in the UK pay one of my friends in the UK who's held it, but that's a high quality problem. That's a high quality problem. But just a final thing there with your pricing. So the way to actually do your pricing is to just make it up make it up. If you're comfortable with it, expand it. If you're not comfortable, bring it down. Deliver that pricing to about 4 people.
Right.
If 4 people, if all of them say no, then consider bringing it down.
Okay.
And if they all say yes, or if half say yes, happy days.
Okay.
Next time, make it higher. I think at least half of your people should be saying no. That's a massive generalization, though, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. And Adrian, now that I have you, I apologize, but I do have one more question. This is coming from the area of referrals, right? Because a lot of times, you know, we want to get business from referrals. So let's say I charge person A X amount. Person A refers me to person B, and now we come to that coaching package, to the price conversation. I feel a need to quote the same price, right? Because I'm quite sure they've had that discussion. Have you had any experience with that? And if you do charge,
not for a few weeks.
Not for a few weeks. Okay, so it's pretty common.
Yeah, I had that just recently, and the thing was, in that 6-month period, my rates went up. And I actually was in the call to the second guy, and I kind of made an excuse, hung up on him, and I called up his friend, who I'm coaching, and I said, okay, so I've got your friend on the phone, and he's a bit tight on money. He can't afford the full rate, but he sounds like a good candidate. I said, can I give your friend a little bit of a discount that I haven't given you? I want to give him a little discount, just so I can work for you. For you, I want to give your friend a little discount. Is that cool? And he was totally fine with that.
Right.
I could just as easily say, I'm going to charge your friend a bit more. I wouldn't actually do that. I would just charge him more. But I actually had to give his friend a bit of a discount because his friend lives in a regional city, and his friend is he's a big name star. So for him, the money is nothing.
Right.
But for his friend, money was an issue. So I gave his friend a discount, and he was really appreciative of it, and he was appreciative of it as well. Now, obviously, this guy's a star, and I tell him all the time, hey, we got to go because I'm going to be serving this guy next, and he's a star.
All right, thank you, Adrian. Appreciate it.
Okay, thank you all very much for your time and open ears. Remember, there's no right or wrong.
All right.
Just what works.
All right, and Sasha, you now have control.
Okay, great. Is there time for one more question? I would have a personal question, Adrian. It can be a short answer. I don't think it's relevant for other people, so you can just answer in 2 sentences. At the moment, I'm doing my training. I'm 6 weeks into it already. I have no previous coaching experience. I decided to coach for free. Do you think that's a mistake, according to you, or maybe?
Are you comfortable coaching for free?
Very comfortable.
Great, if you're comfortable with it.
Okay.
Now, if you charge, though, you can come on our training in Bali. Can you charge and be comfortable?
Not at the moment.
If you did charge, do you think they would get the same result?
No.
How could it be different for them if they paid?
They paid, there would be commitment.
Are you doing them a service or a disservice working for free for them?
I'm doing them this service, but I think I'm doing myself a service.
Not the best coaching answer there, right? Yes or no? But no, hey, I'm not a big advocate of doing too much free stuff, Sasha, because one of my coaches, a mindfulness guy, does a lot of very cheap sessions, and I see the clients afterwards, and I know that if they were paying a lot more or a normal price, I know they would get a better result. There is a psychology around money, and if people are getting for free, they don't respect you as much. If they pay you, and there's no shortage of money, man. There's tons of money around the world. Take it. Open up your arms and take it. They'll get a better result for it.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. I expected that kind of answer, and I believe it to be true. But still, when you're not comfortable, it's not.
What will it take for you to get comfortable now?
We have some live intervention here.
Okay, someone coach this man later.
Yeah. I don't know. I set in my mind a date until when I'm gonna coach for free, which is called the end of this year. And I already started coaching people, and I talked to them about it, and it's already like out there. You know, I decided. I gave up my word, and I believe that's how it's gonna happen. How it's going to happen.
Okay, you don't need to be very qualified or credentialed to charge for your services. In fact, you can do it with no training. I highly recommend credentials and getting professional training, but you can charge without.
Okay.
You could charge them now and put that money towards your own coach.
Yeah.
Or your own training.
Because they are finding value. They are getting benefits. So I agree.
But Adrian, I just want to say some of the coaching organization here, when their students graduate from the coaching school, right? They would recommend their coach students to do some like a free sessions, like volunteer sessions to build experience. Yeah, so they never say you go out there to do some like charged. Yes. So how do you? What's your viewpoint?
Are those people broke?
What do you mean?
Or are the people telling you that, are they poor or in jobs?
No, I don't think so. No, the coaching school usually tell their students, say after graduation, just to like accumulate hours and certain hours.
I was told all that stuff too, and I did that too. I did a lot of that as well, and
Yeah.
I built up my unpaid hours as well. But in Sasha's case, he can go out and do free hours, and he can go out and do paid hours.
Okay.
Now today you have one choice. In the next hour, it's 8 o'clock. So from 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock, you can do paid coaching or unpaid coaching. Which one do you want to do, Sasha?
Paid.
Paid. And if you don't want to do the paid, there's something wrong with you should be doing the paid hours before the unpaid hours. But if there's no paid hours, then take the unpaid. But if the choice is there, take paid.
Yeah.
And if the choice isn't there, maybe you just got to create it.
Mm.
So if you've got no one to coach for free. But there's always people to coach. You got your next door neighbors. You got a whole pile of people on LinkedIn, Facebook, social media that would love to be coached, or they would love to talk about themselves.
Right.
Okay. Thank you, Adrian. I really appreciate it. Guys, before we continue, I would like to remind everyone that Adrian volunteered to help us, to share his knowledge with us. He could have been with his family or wherever. And even though we're talking about money, tonight is not about money. Tonight is about sharing, contributing. And I want to thank you in the name of Collective to stepping up and helping us.
Thank you. Coaches need to help each other and stick up for each other and promote each other and work together. It makes a much better environment.
Thank you again. Thank you again. Okay, now we're going to move on our next section, which is member spotlight. Colin, can you?
Yeah, you have control.
Yeah. It seems like I don't have.
There you go.
Okay, great.
All right.
So for tonight's webinar, we have decided to give a spot to Coach Sherie. I was reading briefly through her resume, and I was impressed by the experience she already has, and I'm just gonna go through very fast. Later on, she's gonna tell more about herself. So Sherie Li is a professional trainer, facilitator, psychological counselor, and coach. She has professional working experience in both China and US for over 20 years. She received systematic lay counselor training in Southern California. She got psychological counselor in China and has practiced in China since 2013. So, I mean, I could go on like this. It's a really big resume, but instead, I would like to ask Sherie a couple of questions in the same time, I'm going to give her opportunity to introduce herself. Sherie, thank you for first of all for directory and your contribution to our collective. I have two questions for you.
Sure.
First one. Let me see. I want to read this one. I don't want to miss anything. What has been the most memorable experience for you as a life coach?
I think the value you provide for your clients, like just like through the sessions, like when they're get stuck in their, issues and problems, through the sessions you help them to see a new kind of a vision and also their, the power they can, empower themselves and for the transformation. So that's the most memorable experience.
Okay. I believe that we all go to coaching because of this, and it's something that other than freedom of coaching from wherever we are, this way of contribution is something that we're all drawn to. But can you remember anything that, like any specific situation with your client, any memorable scene that you remember, like something that was very unusual, or maybe I don't know, even something.
Okay, yeah, I can share a recent case. Before tonight, I have a session with a corporate director. So he's a very smart guy, and he is in a corporate ladder, just like a senior director. But he's like losing the motivation for his job. So he doesn't know. He wants to achieve her inner happiness and also, at the same time win the social recognition. So there's some like something missing in his, internally. So he's like seeking. He's a very smart guy, and in the previous sessions, he's always saying, I get it. I know, about life, whatever. So long as if I want to do something, I want to do. But he never actually want to take action to do something because in his mind, it's so easy. He has achieved his life so well and get very well paid, and also family, has 2 kids. Everything going so well, but he's just not satisfied. So every day he wakes up, he has like 2 voices in his mind. One thing said, you still, you're like a middle-aged young kind of guy. He still wants to achieve further in his career ladder. But at the same time, the other day he wake up, there's another voice say, you should not seek any social recognition. It's nothing, just like, should be fine with your families. So there's always this kind of, not balance in his kind of, like a mental kind of a conflict. So in today's session, it's kind of breakthrough when, I ask a question saying what it really, means for him about the value he takes, when, just like a measurement currently where he is, and his life he's satisfied about. He say he's still disturbed about external things, right? He cannot feel calm down and everything. But what he's like a vision to achieve in the future. So he said in the future, like 8 or 9 kind of measurement, he wants to reach something very peaceful and not to be anxious about anything. So I said, what that means to you, because he's always focused about current thing, and he never able to see far beyond. So when he's able to see something far beyond, he said, wow, I never thought that I can be in that state. Maybe after my retirement, I can be at that state, So we just go through some, deeper questions, and it makes him to think further what it, can be achievable. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much.
Okay.
I'm coaching for like a couple of weeks, and I had only one breakthrough so far, and it felt amazing. I remember when I was first time trying to surf, and it was my only time. And the moment I got on the surfboard, it was like in heaven. I didn't know what's going on. This breakthrough of my client was something similar. It was really nice feeling.
Yeah, especially I think with clients who really have their own kind of autonomy. They think really highly about themselves, and they think they're really smart, and they have think through lots of questions. When we coaches able to help them to see what kind of gap they can still bridge and make improvement, it means a lot to the coachees, I think.
Yeah. Thank you, Sherie. Another question. I'm going to go for this third one. What advice would you give to a new life coach like myself?
Yes, I think I learned from myself because I used to be a counselor, psychological counselor. So, which means by profession, I usually focus on the past. So, why people become who they are in the past, right? The past experience, and we use a lot of analysis, a lot of tools. But for coaching, it's more about the future, where they want to go, the goals. So, as a life coach myself, yeah, it's kind of shift for me in my questions to the clients, more about empowerment, about the future. And also, I think in the process, it's all about the tools. I use this logical levels a lot. The higher three levels, your belief system, and also your identity, and also the vision you try to achieve, and then what kind of capability you can build to achieve that, and then when to take action, something like that. So I use that a lot, and also other tools. I think the tools, it can help, but mostly the state about the coach, which means when we listen, do we really listen, understand about the coachee, or we try to analyze? I think that's a huge difference. The focus, where is the focus?
Yeah, I believe that's the problem during everyday's conversation. We listen to respond and not to understand.
Exactly.
And I believe that's a big step. Once you get there, once you start listening to understand, I think whole new world is open for you as a coach. Thank you, Sherie, for sharing your thoughts with us. We're gonna move.
Hey, Sasha.
Yeah, go.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but we do have a third question, right?
Oh yeah, sure.
Sure, you
Hope
mentioned.
you want to surprise me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, first of all, you mentioned that you were okay answering 3 questions first. Do you want to do question number 1 before we get to number 4?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Number 1, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The challenge you overcome. Yeah, the challenges I just mentioned, because my profession before I doing coaching, I was a counselor. So when I work with my clients before, it's usually focusing on the past, right? How they become who they are. But coaching is more about where they want to go in the future. So I have to transform my mindset. Yes, about helping them, assisting them, yeah, to go there where they want to be. Yeah, so that's how I overcome. This is one of the challenges for me.
Okay. And
Okay.
Sasha, I apologize because I forgot to send you the on-the-spot question.
Yeah.
So I have it written down here.
Okay.
And again, part of what we do here is to put coaches on the spot. So this is a question that I think I think all the coaches have gotten this question, and if they haven't, you're going to get it. So you better know how to answer it. So here's my question to you. Okay,
Uh-huh.
Coaching is becoming more common now. People are starting to understand what life coaching is. So we have a lot of options. I have a lot of options, right? Adrian mentioned that we all should have a coach, right? We have several options options of who to hire, to pay to be our coach. What makes you a better coach, and why should I hire you as my life coach?
Wow.
I don't mean me, but I mean as a client, right? They're going to ask you that, right? Why should I hire you as a life coach?
Okay,
Nice one.
so why me, right? Okay, I think, okay, it's about, I think it's about chemistry. Right now, where people find me is about, because I have a profile with the agency. They have like a data match, just like I have the profile, there's some keywords and also my experience, right? So they have a data match. data match, and they match me. And then we will have a chemistry fit kind of a conversation. So right now, yes, you're right. I haven't gone to the stage about actively BD doing the business development and approach people saying, okay, it's me. I haven't done that yet. Okay, yeah, maybe I'll think about that question and answer it in the next session.
Okay.
Right now, I don't have an answer.
Yeah, I think it's a question that a lot of us get very, very often.
So how did you answer, Colin? I just flip that side.
Okay, I'll give you a very brief answer. So I always feel like this. I say, you know what, guys, I don't know the other coaches, so I can't tell you what makes me better than them. But I can say this: if you have access to somebody who can help you reach your goals, select a coach. Doesn't have to be me, right? The important thing is you get somebody who can help you go from A to B to C to D to E, right? I might not be the best coach, but I am effective. So I give them that answer, and usually they say, "Oh, okay," right? Because I don't know why I'm better. I just know that I am effective, right?
You have a factor?
No, I am effective. I'm effective.
Oh, okay, effective.
Yeah,
okay, I see. Okay.
yeah. So
I will think about some keywords as well.
Anybody else have that question? A good answer? I dot. How would you answer that question?
Yes.
I would say I care about you, and you can feel that. So yes, I agree with Sherie. It's the chemistry, so we have to test it out. Yeah, and then it's about the experience.
Okay.
Yeah. and I know a lot of good coaches here, so yes, it's perfectly all right if you find some other coaches who believe that you can resonate better with them. Yeah. I don't know, because that is really relational and personal. So if we are here and that experience, follow your heart, it would tell you, do you want that relationship? How do you feel? I think that is, that's what I would say.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Sasha, back to you. Sorry to interrupt you.
Nice, thank you all of you for sharing. I've seen actually a question in our chat box, and it was from Celine, my good friend. So it was we were talking about future and past. I mean, Sherie was talking about it. So Celine was wondering, what about present? And I would like to answer to her, because from my point of view, past and the future are the tools that we are using in order to help the client. And I believe that present is something that we live in and we should use to live in. But we use past and the future as tools in our practice to help and contribute. So that's my, let's say, amateur point of view. But we can talk about this, Celine, more, because I'm sure we'll see each other soon. She probably cannot talk. I know her. That's why she's offline, but she was contributing in her way. Thank you for that. Colin, can I have a comment back?
Yep, you have control.
Okay.
You should. Okay, there you
go. Thank you. Okay, so it's time to wrap it up. Guys, we have scheduled our next webinar for Tuesday, December the 3rd. And from now on, we're going to have webinars every month. Thank you all for showing up. We have some new topics to vote on. I hope you guys are going to show more activity in the future, because I believe this group can be very useful to all of us. And this is what it's all about. Also, feel free to recommend life coaching related topics and coaches that would you like to learn from. Colin, do you have something to say for the end?
Of course I do. And let me first say, I want to go back to Sherie's comment. Last week, I told you I met with Sherie, and she reminded me that I talk a lot. And it's true, okay? I do talk a lot. I hope I'm not talking too much and waste, right? But I want to take a moment to really thank Sasha, right? Again, this was Sasha's first time facilitating, and I told him he told me, Colin, don't say that in public. And I said, I won't say it, right? So Sasha, I apologize to you, sir, because I had every intention of saying it, right?
Okay.
Again,
I
because
forgive you.
yeah, because we want to make sure now we give you the support, the feedback, and I think great job. Some of your follow-up questions were great, so thank you for stepping up to facilitate this call. And as you mentioned, you want to be the webinar facilitator. So we look forward to seeing your face more and more and more again. Last thing is please spend some time on this last page on how to contact us, and that'll be it.
Yeah. Here we have Adrian's information in order if you want to connect with him and ask him some more questions. He was willing to leave his contact here. You can add his WeChat. You can go on other social media. Also, I would like to remind that we have two groups of ours. One is our meetup group, and the other is on our our WeChat group. So we're kind of trying to combine them so we can use only one of them, and it's going to be much more useful in the future. But for now, it's like that. So feel free to participate in both of them. Thank you again for showing up tonight. It was a very interesting night for me. I enjoyed a lot. I learned a lot. Thank you, Adrian, for sharing with us. I guess he was supposed to go, but very grateful for his words, and hopefully we're going to have some more interesting speakers in the future.